Instagram couples are really interesting because they make meaning through this social media platform that we all use and are manipulated by all the time. And I think one of the problems, like one of the spectacle is in the meaning, because the meaning that they're trying to create is that like they have this beautiful, perfect relationship, they like travel the world. So in that way, it's made to persuade people into believing that their relationship is great and that things are going well. And the problem in that is the meaning becomes this idea of perfection in the whole society. It's a social spectacle now for everybody to try to make their Instagram pages look like these couples.
I think that the spectacle of these Instagram relationships are very much geared towards persuading and convincing their audience that they are perfect, a lot to seek validation in themselves and in their own relationships, but also to commodify their relationship so they can make money off of their relationship. I know a lot of these Instagram couples are famous only for being couples and for being, quote, perfect couples, and they make money off of it. So that's definitely trying to convince their viewers to buy things that they're promoting, things that they're sponsored by. So I think it's definitely about that.
Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. I don't know, because they get around.
Do they do anything?
Well, I don't know if they're on, are they on Instagram?
Yeah.
They are on Instagram?
How they're broken up. Like, it used to be Jake Paul and Erica, whatever her name is, but they broke up.
What's that girl, Liz or something, that was also a YouTuber, and she's super weird.
Liza Koshy and David Dobrik.
Yes.
Yeah, but they broke up too. But there used to be a bunch of them that just posted pictures
I'm from
together.
Hawaii, so I follow a lot of surfers and their relationships.
I feel like I'll just randomly find couples on my home screen. Just be like scrolling through and they'll pop up because who knows. And then I'll just start stalking them.
So some famous Instagram couples that I know of were the Jay Alvarez and Alexis Ren something. And I knew, I think, just because like on Instagram it just popped up on my popular page. Because a bunch of people that I knew followed them, that's why. And
my Instagram couples are really outdated. Like, when I thought of Instagram couple, I thought of Alexis Ren and
Jay Alvarez.
Jay Alvarez.
Yeah, I love them.
I don't know. I have no idea. My friends in high school were like really into like all that stuff, and I didn't really care, but I like knew about it secondhand.
Yeah, you said it's outdated. Outdated in what way?
Didn't they break up like 2 years ago? But like those are like the only people.
I think Jay Alvarez and
Alexis Ren?
I forgot who his significant other was. That just really got hyped up, doing extravagant things and going to all these cool places.
Are they still together?
It's a great question. I don't think so.
Yeah,
It's a business relationship.
it's a business relationship.
I act like I know these people. Jay and Alexis did break up, and why did I think they broke up? I think they broke up because, I don't know, maybe it was all too much. Maybe they weren't actually ever a good fit. And does this change my view of them as a couple? No, not really. I just kind of think they broke up, whatever happened. And now it's kind of weird though, when they continue to, I don't know, to post things about their breakup and all. It's all just kind of very funny to me.
What do you think about it?
I think it's kind of messed up, actually.
Do you think it's real?
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking for something that they can't have and trying to live through other people's lives. It can be a good thing, but also it can be negative. You're like comparing yourself with other people that a lot of times aren't even like real.
I think the spectacle of Instagram relationships and famous relationships in general, that display their relationships so publicly online as kind of idealized versions of their relationship are trying to make meaning both for themselves and for the people who are looking at them and looking up to them. I think in terms of making meaning for themselves, although it's very possible that a lot of these relationships are very loving and actually are very healthy relationships, I'm sure. I think there's also the other side of that I'm sure there's also relationships that aren't like that behind the scenes, and creating this spectacle makes them believe that they are perfect, and they're creating meaning by creating a spectacle and trying to get people to tell them that they're perfect. So they are creating meaning for themselves within this spectacle, even though it might not be necessarily the truth. Everybody else is buying into it, so it's kind of creating meaning for themselves in their lives and in their relationship, even though they might not have this sort of meaning without the spectacle that they create. And I think in terms of the meaning that they're providing for the people who are viewing for them, I think a lot of the people who look at these Instagram relationships are people who want relationships like that, and maybe people who find something missing in their lives and are always striving to have relationships that are so perfect, quote unquote perfect. So I think the meaning that the spectacle creates for them is kind of an unreachable sort of perfect that people think is possible, because these spectacles that the Instagram couples create are not possible because you only see the imperfections. I mean, you only see the perfections.
They're probably like so happy, and then they're immediately like just editing and not even talking to each other, you know?
But
Yeah, have you ever seen Lele Pond's YouTube video about like the Instagram couple? Like literally Hannah stalking and then whatever, Kwampa or something. They were like, oh, let's take the selfie, and then the next second they were like, oh, get off me. And then they were like, no, the lighting needs to be better. And then, I don't know, it was just very fake.
Hey guys, it's our 1 year anniversary, right babe? Oh, we're so happy. I love you too.
Kiss your brush your teeth. Take a shower, like for real. Hey, so jealous.
It seems like couples do things so that they can post them on Instagram. And they take like the picture, like the follow me picture. That's annoying.
I don't know, I always wonder like how real it all is, because you know, people will do some of those, like there's been girls that have had like huge followings on Instagram that have come out and said like, yeah, I take 900 pictures for that one perfect one, and you think I'm just like reading my book, drinking that smoothie, but I made a perfect color of the smoothie, I made my book in the perfect place, and like it's all fake. I didn't even drink the smoothie, because I have to like stay skinny and like all this stuff. And so I kind of think of that, like how much of it is actually their relationship and how much is it.
Yeah, I agree. Just because you see such a small bit of their life, it's just one picture that is totally posed. So people follow it because they're like relationship goals, and this is what I want to be, and this is what I want my relationship to be. But you see this happiness of them and everyone commenting, oh my god, you guys are so cute together. And then, but that's not really realistic in what relationships are like.
it adds a little dimension to it, the relationship aspect of it, making it maybe more appealing to us viewers, and there's another person in the scenario and it's a little bit more enticing, a little bit more interesting.
I think that it definitely, I think these couples intend to empower the audience. They like want to make a good impression and use their influence for good. But I think in reality, it tends to have a negative effect on people a lot of times, because it does play into what I explained before about this idea of people thinking that other people are perfect, other relationships and couples are perfect, and comparing it to their own. It's really easy to fall into comparison. For example, I know this couple that they went to college with some friends of mine and I knew them, and they were really sweet and really cute, but they were going through a lot of stuff, but they were Instagram famous, and so they pushed through a lot of it. They broke up a few times, they tell people, they got back together. So there's this whole thing where they tried as a couple to make a difference in the world and have a positive influence on people, but in reality it sort of had a negative effect on them. And so I think there's a spectacle in that, because they were putting on a performance for the world that is not who they actually are, even though it might be who they intend to be.
There could be a quality of this spectacle that could be to teach, because although these relationships are not perfect in any way, they seem so. And so because these relationships seem perfect, it might make people in a more positive light try to embody these relationships by being maybe loving and healthy in certain ways, although it is kind of unhealthy to aspire to be perfect. It might, in some ways, encourage people to find a relationship with the love that they see in these Instagram couples. So I think it's very much to teach, persuade, and convince the audiences in different ways, some negative and some more positive.